Hey, I'm Tag, Kyla here. Thought I would talk to you today about motivation, especially since in this time we know that motivation can be a little hard right now to keep every single day doing the things that you need to do to prep for when we come out of this and get back to this great game that we love. But the uncertainty of when that is right now makes it a little hard to stay every day on task. So I thought I'd help you out just a little bit and give you some ways to maybe try to keep accomplishing that. But first thing I want to do is help you understand how motivation happens within us. I had the opportunity when I coached in college to work with an emotional intelligence coach. She was a fantastic leader and mentor for me, and one of her lessons that really stuck out was on motivation. She talked about motivation comes in three ways in athletes. The self motivator, that tends to be our favorite athlete to coach as a coach. Those are the kids that always go hard, they're always at 100%, they're always trying to be their best and beat themselves from what they did the previous time. So pretty much they're the kid who's putting in extra time. They're the easy ones to take care of themselves, the self motivator. Then you have the me versus you kids. Those are the kids that are a little more frustrating for us coaches. And I'll tell you why, because those are the kids that do the bare minimum of practice because they understand the importance of it. But then you get into a game and they're lights out. Man, they turn those lights on and you put a batter up there, you put another hitter or anything like that, pitcher-wise, 100 from them. So those are hard because those are the kids that you know what type of leaders they are when the lights come on, and that you wish that they would do that a little bit more. I see that a lot in lessons. Man, we turn a competition on and all of a sudden that kid lights up like crazy and she'll win the competition, but for the rest of the practice, she will have been doing half speed or half pace. So those are the ones that are kind of hard sometimes because unless there's a competition out there, they're not really going to want to go full speed. And then your last one is your for the team, that those people who are motivated and compete mentality wise for their sense of belonging and for their sense of others. They want to be the best they can be for their team. So those are the people that always step up in those moments of sacrifice when it's for the betterment of the team. I can't tell you how many times I've had to ask a player to play another position, somebody got hurt. Those people who are motivated with that team environment, you're going to find them thrive in those moments like that. Those are going to be the kids that you just couldn't ask and thank enough of because of the things that they did for the program or for the team in that moment. So now that you kind of know the three ways and you're hopefully thinking about yourself, which one am I motivated by? What do I need on a daily basis to keep moving? We're going to talk about some ways to do that. Now, obviously the perfect scenario, we can create all of that in a week, right? You have your time where you work on yourself, you have your competitions that we're usually playing every week, and you have your team activities and things where you need to do what's best for your team. That's not our case right now. That's not our situations that we're currently in. So we're all having to try to learn how to be self-motivators in this moment, which that can be really difficult and sometimes hard to think about how do I do that when that's just not me naturally. So one of the things, if you're finding yourself on the me versus you group, if you find that, man, if you love competition and somebody makes it a game, you're ready to win it, I'm going to give you some opportunities here that you can try to take your practices and dial them up a little bit. So the first one we want you to try to do is have a board. Have a board of maybe your best or some of your teammates' best. If let's say you're chasing down a mile per hour speed and you know there's another athlete on your team that has a certain speed that's higher than you, let's put that one on the board and let's make sure that's what we're working for. Same thing in some of your other areas. Let's say accuracy, or let's say you've had a coach say, hey, you needed to do this a little bit better in order to do that, or even a certain pitch needs to be better. We want to make sure that's one of our motivations when we're trying to think about how to be a little bit more competitive, is creating some of that on a small little leaderboard. Be really easy to do. Another one that you can do is you versus your teammates. I know a lot of you teams out there and athletes have group me's that your team is on. That's a great opportunity right there to post some of your workouts, see if someone can beat you, see if somebody's getting a higher score. Really challenge, especially some of the ones who you know are kind of motivated your way. They're going to be all in for this. It might not be everyone on your team, and that's okay, but you want to make sure that you're really reaching out and trying to get some competition within your team that you know is doing the same thing as you. And then your last one, you can use your family. I'm sure a lot of you guys have mom or dad that's catching or siblings who play sports. That's a great opportunity to get them in. Have them throw overhand while you're pitching and doing that kind of stuff, but definitely bring them in. If they call it and you don't hit it, then that's, if they can throw overhand faster than you can pitch it. Be as creative as you want with those in those competitions, but make sure that you're using everything available to you in order to create some. And then if you're that person who is motivated by your team, that sense of belonging, you're that I'm better for others motivated, what we really want to see from you is we want you to try to remember your why every single day. And that might be a little hard right now because you're not playing and you're not seeing your team every day. But what they're expecting from you right now is to come out of this situation better, stronger, and more passionate about this game than you've ever been. So we want you every single day that you have a choice to either get better or maybe just choose to kind of just get by. We want you to remember your why, and that's your team right now. Because when we come out of this and we do get back to the sport that we have been missing so much, we really need you to be your best teammate version that you can be. So hopefully you remember that every single day. And so maybe create a board of your team where all of your groups there, or even some of the athletes that if you got better, that it would make something else better. So even reach out to them, try involving yourself a little bit more, making sure you're texting them and keeping them active, TikToks, things like that. There's a lot of ways to reach others, but really become the best teammate that you can be right now. And in that means making sure you're practicing and keeping yourself up to date. If you're the self-motivator, that's one of those things that, those people, myself included, that tends to take care of ourselves, but sometimes we kind of forget what we're motivated for since we're not really playing right now. So I would challenge you to make sure you write down your goals and make sure you're staying on task. I see it all the time in lessons. People come from other pitching coaches and stuff in where they felt like they just kind of flattened out. And what I usually find is it's not necessarily the other coach. What I find is they kind of lost their why they were going to lessons every day, or why are you doing the work, or what is it that you want to accomplish. That happens to athletes too. Whenever you see them win something really big, it's kind of like, what's next? Or whenever you get your scholarship and all of a sudden now it's like, well, I've worked really hard for this. Well, what's next? What do I keep working for if I've already gotten that? So those are some of the things that you have to keep reminding yourself of your why. So if you find yourself not maybe doing all that you can do every single day right now, fixing that fundamental flaw that needs to get fixed, or even just getting out there and putting in the effort. You're doing the work, but you're not really putting in the effort to make it 100%. I would make sure that you are very clear on your why, and every single day you wake up, you want to know that that's what you're shooting for. So I hope that helps today, just a little bit on staying motivated. I know it is. We are in difficult times and in a situation we have never been in, and it's not easy to do what you guys are doing. I am seeing some fantastic things out there in videos of the work that you guys have been doing. So use this time wisely, use this time to get better so that when we come out of this sport is stronger and more fantastic to watch and be around than ever before. So stay safe, everyone. Hope everyone is spending time with their family and everyone is safe and healthy. And until then, see you guys soon. Bye.